So I've left Sportsman's Warehouse now. I ended up not deciding what to buy with the $20 gift card. I didn't know what I wanted and I didn't feel like making decisions. Sometimes I can be pretty indecisive. They had this promotion going of giving a hat and a $20 gift card to, I think, the first 200 people that showed up, because this particular Sportsman's Warehouse location just recently opened like 2 days ago, so they have like this promotion going on to get people in the store, I guess. So I got there about 45 minutes before the store opened, and a line was already forming in front of the store. I'm really not a morning person, but I was kind of talked into going to this, so that's why I showed up. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have gone at all, but the time in the line went pretty quickly, and while I was waiting in line, there was a lot of people to observe and human nature to observe, so that was pretty interesting. People were generally in a good mood and there for a freebie, you know, so they were in a good mood. And now I believe there's a car show, and it's one that I have been to before with the Cadillac. Not this year, but I think I will do a quick walkthrough of this car show. Just finished with the walkthrough of the car show, and there were really a lot of beautiful cars, as there usually is. I noticed a lot of Corvettes and a really pretty green Cadillac. I was not expecting to be quite so affected so much. That's the first car show I've been to since I lost the Cadillac. And so it was really sort of bittersweet. And then I saw a poster, an old poster, I think it was a few years ago. They made a poster for the car show and it had my 1955 Cadillac on it, and it was like, wow. Just a reminder of, you know, what used to be. But what are you gonna do? Onward and upward, you know? So, otherwise I enjoyed looking at the beautiful cars. And, when I was walking along, I was walking by other people, and there was this father and his young son. I'm thinking his son was around, I don't know, 5 to 7 years old. Anyway, I was walking by them and I heard the father say to the son, "Keep walking." The father said to the son, "Keep walking," and like I think the son might have been about to get distracted with something, whether it was a car or maybe a dog that was walking by. Something was about to distract the son, and the father saw that and instructed him to keep walking. And I thought it was kind of funny because it made me think of the Lord and how I'm pretty sure the Lord does sort of the same thing, where you can be walking along in this life and you might start to get distracted by something you shouldn't get distracted by, and that you should stay focused on the path you're supposed to walk on. And I feel like the Lord probably often says to his children to keep walking.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes said
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a pink.
Spots on the bottom tail.
What's that?
Spots on the bottom lobe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, pink. That felt good.
We're done with fishing now. I did catch a fish, a pink salmon, and I have not yet mastered handling this camera and catching a fish at the same time, so I did not get any footage of me catching the fish, but I did catch one, and I will try to include a picture of the fish I caught later. And I caught the fish just before high tide. Overall, I fished about 3 hours, and I think I've learned that I don't want to fish for that long. I think about 1 hour would be ideal for me because I'm feeling kind of worn out. I'm feeling slightly sore from casting and reeling in and casting and reeling in and casting and reeling in for that long. So much so that by the time I caught the fish, I was kind of done with it, and it actually didn't bring me a whole lot of joy to catch that fish. I don't know why. I did catch a fish yesterday, and that was a happier moment, but I did have to release that fish because it was a wild coho, and we're not allowed to keep those. But now we're going to head to a small local fair, a very small county fair, which is running Friday through Sunday. I entered a few vegetables. I entered some garlic that I grew, some carrots, green beans, and a large zucchini. So we'll see how they've done. And other than that, we'll just take a little look around the fair. Okay, I'm going to watch the expert fillet his salmon first so that I get a refresher on how to fillet my salmon. The part you did right by the dorsal fin, the poking through with the tip of your knife, that's the
Yep.
part that I have trouble with.
Yeah, I try to slide it in and then feel for the spine. And then once you find the spine, you can ride the spine down the tail.
Yeah, I have. Well, we'll see how well I do. I haven't filleted a fish for a long time. The last fish I filleted was probably a rainbow trout.
I'm going to aim right here and then go right for the vent right there. Because this is all nasty belly meat on a pink, and we can use that for bait. Bait.
Your knife's nice and sharp.
Mm-hmm. So now I got that on there. Careful here. Flip it over. Here's the belly section that we can use for fish bait or whatever we want to use it for. Some people say it works really good for halibut bait. We can also use it for crab bait. Carcass we can use for crab bait as well. Pretty thin. And it's a boy, so I don't get any good eggs.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if there's anything in the stomach. Let's see if there's anything in here. Sand lance. Not that you can tell that they're sand lance anymore, but yeah, they've been eating sand lance. Well, let's go ahead and we'll flay the skin off of here. Well, yeah, let's flay the skin off. On pinks, the skin holds a lot of nasty oils that I don't want to eat, and it makes it taste really fishy and gross. And I don't like fishy, gross fish. And we got some pin bones on here. I want to fillet those out. I missed those right there.
I haven't done that before. Taking the pin bones out.
Yeah, but it sure does make it nicer to eat, doesn't it?
Yeah. On a trout, you can kind of just get by with leaving them in, I think.
You might think you're losing a lot of meat, but really you're just making it better eating. I'm not really used to taking the pin bones out in a fish like this, but I've got tired of eating around the bones.
Okay, it's my turn. This is the fish I caught today. Let's see. Okay. So, you want... I hope I don't butcher this. I mean, I want to butcher it, but not butcher it. Alright. Mosquito. Alright. What are these?
Those are sea lice. So they attach on there, and then they're like mosquitoes or fleas for fish. Fish fleas.
Mm.
They can really mess a fish up.
Okay. So, yeah, okay. This is the hard part for me. Okay. I think I found it.
I like to angle the knife at a 45 degree, forward or backward, according to like if you're gonna cut this way, go like that, or that way, like that.
I don't understand.
So now that you're in and you feel the bone down below, you can turn the knife at a 45 degree as you cut
Okay.
this direction, or 45 degrees this way if you're going that direction.
Okay. Okay. So you...
They seem to angle a little upward, but you can feel them right along there. Kind of see that.
I can feel them here.
Yeah. Just see these little dots, just follow the little dots and take it down the dot there. You're going to want to probably start here like this, at that kind of an angle, and kind of work my knife in at an angle alongside those.
Okay. This is kind of hard.
It is. Good job.
It looks...
It looks funny until you go like that. Now it looks normal.
Okay. Is that really how it's supposed to look?
Well, you were learning. That was the first time you've ever taken pin bones out. Okay, it's not that much different than mine.
I've never seen a salmon fillet like that.
Only the guys that are going to cook them do it. And it doesn't look as pretty in the restaurant, so they don't do it in the restaurant. They want you to look at it and go, oh, that's pretty. Or they'll sit there and they'll try to pull them out with pliers. Good job.
It is Sunday morning, and I'm planning on going to the fair again because I need to pick up my entries, and I wanted to take a look at the mud drags, and that is happening today, so I wanted to go and see that. Yesterday, where I took some footage of helicopters and such, that was some sort of event to honor and recognize law enforcement, security workers, first responders, and the military, and so they had some helicopters there. I thought that was really interesting to see up close. And then before that, I went to sort of a rummage sale or something. It was like either put on or for a senior center, so it was basically like some sort of rummage sale or garage sale sort of thing. And I don't need a single thing, but I just wanted to go look anyways. But I did get some books. I got an older dictionary and a thesaurus and a few other books, and it was so funny. I thought when I was looking at the books that were for sale, I found my book, and that was really funny and strange and unexpected. But then I went fishing and filleted the fish I caught, and that fillet job was a really frustrating experience for me. I felt like I really butchered the fillets trying to take the pin bones out, I think in the future, if I fillet a salmon again, I will leave the pin bones in and just pick the bones out after it's cooked, like when you're eating the fish, just to preserve a better looking fillet. On top of that, I was fighting off like wasps or hornets, and then I got bit by mosquitoes several times. So that was a frustrating experience for me, but live and learn, you know. And then after that, it was pretty late. I just cooked some dinner and went to bed. For part of the dinner, I cooked up some zucchini from the garden, and there's so much zucchini this year. Kind of hard to see, but these things are huge.
That's insane. What is it? I don't know what the stone is, but the crystals inside are called.
You just want a tractor?
Okay. I get 24 though. I think it's really cool. Have you? Dude, that thing is. I'm gonna put another dollar. Yeah, I'll put another dollar. What's it all the way?
hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. It is hard to walk in sand. That's what happened over the weekend. And as far as fishing at the beach went, I had a good time. The weather was really nice. And I'm thinking it didn't come across on camera, but there were a lot of other people fishing off of the shore. And I'm not really used to having to fish that close to other people. I was actually a little bit nervous about casting that close to other people because I was concerned that I might cast off to the side or something and then get tangled up in their lines or somehow cause a problem in some way, but I did pretty well. I casted fairly straight in front of me, and I only got caught up in the line of someone next to me because of the current. It really wasn't my fault, but during the course of fishing, I could see that when I casted straight in front of me, by the time I was reeling in my lure, it was like way off to the side. So I was reeling in my line, and as I was reeling it in, I realized someone else's line was on my line, but their line was crossed all the way in front of me. So it was the current, and it was very easy to untangle, and it was not a big deal. So other than that, I didn't have any problems fishing so close to other people. Over the weekend, I caught 2 pink salmon, and I caught 1 pink salmon before that, so I have tasted it before. It's just that it's sinking in with me how different pink salmon tastes than other salmon that I've had in the past. I don't mean to complain about the taste, but it is different than other salmon that I've had in the past. It's not quite as good, I think, but the way that you choose to cook it can help with that. Also, I'm realizing that I would like to have a tackle box for saltwater fishing and a tackle box for freshwater fishing. Generally, I think that makes more sense because I found myself using my freshwater tackle box when I go saltwater fishing and just throwing in a few things that I need for the saltwater fishing in the freshwater tackle box, and so I'm toting around all my freshwater fishing stuff when I go saltwater fishing, and I don't really need to. So in the future, I think I will try to find a box for saltwater fishing gear. Fishing off the beach like I was fun for me. I think partially because it's still new to me. I have caught only 3 salmon total in my life off of a beach. So I think the newness of it makes it fun for me. Otherwise, I don't think that I'm really that into fishing. I like to fish. It's fun, but I'm not like a die-hard fisher person. I think about the longest I can fish before I'm kind of done with it is about 3 hours or so. It's more of a fun hobby. I know some people really get into fishing and plan significant parts of their life around it, but not me. Yeah, it's just something I enjoy doing now and then. And then over the weekend, I went to that small local county fair. There were less exhibits in some respects than I remember there being before. Like there were a handful of chickens there, where in the past I've seen all of those cages full of chickens. And I also noticed there was less artwork and less like vegetable and fruit entries, maybe even less flower entries, which I think is a sign of something. I don't have some profound conclusion of what it is a sign of, but things are changing and it's sort of noticeable. Other than that, I did enjoy seeing what was there. I always like to see the animals and the flowers and the produce and the artwork that people create. So I did enjoy the fair overall. I wanted to see the mud drags, but by the time I got there, it was almost over and I saw one race and then that was it. I should have just gotten there earlier, but the mud drags are, in a way, sort of like a drag race, but instead of a typical track, it's a race through mud. Like, two cars will compete with each other, usually four-wheelers or jeeps or something. They'll have a starting line and race through these ditches of mud. And sometimes they get stuck and sometimes they don't, but yeah, that's about it. It's not even that long of a race. It's probably nowhere near a quarter of a mile at all. It's, I don't know, I'd guess maybe 300 feet or something like that. I'm just guessing. I really don't know how long it is, but it's pretty short for a race. And then you can see the mud fly and all of that. Anyway, this was a very busy weekend for me. Typically, I like doing less than this on weekends. It was actually one of the busiest weekends I can recall ever having in my life. And yet it's August and it just seems busier every weekend right about now. Lots of events, lots of activities going on, and I thought, well, I will partake in what I can while I have the chance. It was so busy, I was kind of glad for Monday to come so that I could recover from the weekend. I did enjoy seeing what I saw over the weekend and doing what I did, but it doesn't really bring me life or reason for living like it might have in the past. Like I said, I do enjoy it. It's just that I've experienced someone better in my life that does bring me life and gives me purpose and much more than these somewhat superficial events and activities do. I mean, I think there was a time in my life where these types of activities and events and just stuff to do would make me feel like I was living life. But my perspectives have somewhat changed, and for the better. It's just odd to enjoy these types of things in life to an extent, but not as fully as I used to. I guess what I'm saying is my heart isn't there. Like, my heart isn't in it. I can thoroughly enjoy these things, but that's not why I'm living. I found God, who matters more to me and who my heart is with. None of these other things compare to Him. In fact, while I enjoy them, I see they fall short, very much so. And it's nice to be able to say that and actually mean it, instead of saying that and wishing that that's what it was like in my life. Because I feel like I could say, God matters more to me, my heart is with Him and not in these other things in life, and not mean it. I feel like I could say that and not mean it, and not really even have experienced it. But I'm thankful to be able to say that and actually have it so in my life, if you know what I mean. Because it's sure easy to say things, it's easy to use the right words, and not have them be actually real in your life. Anyway, I see this difference between the temporal and eternal, I guess, and it makes me think of this hymn called Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus. Some of the words in the hymn go something like, "And the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace." And I see that to be true. I have experienced that to be true. And again, you could sing those songs and either not really mean them or not really even know what that is like. But I have personally experienced that to be true. That things of this world, they do grow strangely dim in the light of God's glory and in the light of who He really is. Along with that, all of this reminds me of another hymn called I'd Rather Have Jesus. And I think the words in that hymn say a great deal, and I will just let them speak for themselves because I want to play both of these hymns. And I will go ahead and do that. When I play I'd Rather Have Jesus, I just want to let you know I might make mistakes because I haven't practiced that one very much. So please forgive me for any mistakes I make as I play on the piano and sing these two hymns. And I don't think I have anything more to add. I'll go ahead and play these two hymns.